Now I'm live, right? Oh, yes, Tanaya started live. Oh, I'm Tanaya. Tanaya started live stream. Here we go. I guess people waving means that we are live. Perfect. We were running 1 minute late. I'm sorry. I pressed the wrong button. But we will give a few more people the time to join in. Some people are requesting to join the live stream. No, people can't join the live stream. There's only one person who can join the live stream, and that'll be Dicki through my account. So actually it'll be me and me doing the live stream, but Dicki and me, if you understand. Yes, I do have Carrot's t-shirt. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll give a few more people a little bit of time to join, and this will be one of the last live streams, maybe the last live stream of Tanaya, of the Behind the Sand campaign. It'll be Dicki and I talking a little bit about athlete-coach relationship, how to improve your climbing. Well, we don't really know how to do that, but we'll talk about it anyway. And I would say, now that we've given some people the time to tune in, I will invite Dicki. Let's see how this works. I press this button over here. And I have to remember to invite myself. Up, there he is. Send Cruxes out. And
Hi there.
Nice. Check this out. It works so well. It's amazing how this technology works.
Perfect.
So, now that my account is part of the live stream, there's a few more people watching. That's nice. So we'll give a few more people the time to join in. And in the meanwhile, I would say, how about you just introduce yourself, Dicki, and tell people who you are, where you've started climbing, when you've started climbing, and let's take a little bit of time to go back in time.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Dicki. I started climbing, I think around about 35 years ago, when there was no artificial holds, just rock climbing, the pure rock climbing. And 20 years ago, I moved from Pfalz, where I started climbing. It's a sandstone area. I moved to Frankenjura, and there, I met Patrick, my counterpart, and the other trainer of Alex. And we started together to train a group of talented climbers in Frankenjura. And it was almost 15 years ago now when Alex joined this group. And that's where the story starts.
I remember, like, I was 13 back then, and you and Patrick took over this group, the Frankenjura climbing group kids, and we went outside climbing a few times a week. And mostly though we trained at the gym. I remember that, and I remember then you climbing as well pretty hard. Like, what was your hardest route, Dicki, you've ever climbed?
Oh, I think it was a 9C or not 8C. Sorry. But I remember you climbed one of the 8Cs I climbed years ago, and you said, "Ooh, it's so hard," and makes me feel very good. 4 millimeters.
Yes.
You said,
I remember that really
9A
small.
at least. And it was years ago. And in the beginning, you belayed me in my projects. Yeah, now I train in your warm-up routes. So times are changing. And it was a funny time. I remember when in the beginning when we drove out to the forest to climb, that no one of you had a brush and his chalk bag, and this what I said, hey, you have to brush the holes in a brush. What brush? We have no brush here. I said, okay, guys, you have to listen. Everybody needs a brush to clean the holes.
I know, we were climbing without brushes. We were climbing with our belay devices on the harness. climbing with socks in the climbing shoes.
Yeah, yeah. And you never took off climbing shoes. You always stay in them. You belay in your climbing shoes and say, "Oh yeah, they fit very well. I feel good." You say, "Oh Jesus,"
Yes,
with these huge ones.
I know. I even competed in socks in my climbing shoes, and between routes in the competition, never took off my climbing shoes when I was 13 years old. And I think it was a long, long process to get to where I
Yeah.
am now and where we are now as a team. And
15 years ago.
15 years
So,
ago, yeah. And
so
I
it's a long time.
remember, but back then we were mostly like I remember we went twice a week, always on Tuesday or on Thursday. We went to some gym in the winter normally to TSV in Nuremberg.
Hmm.
Back then, Kaffee Kraft, for example, didn't even exist yet. But
Yeah,
we went to Erlangen or to
yeah,
TSV to train with
yeah,
you and Patrick, with a group of other people.
yeah,
And I remember like very, very early on that you and Patrick, you introduced like ring training
yeah.
into our yeah, into
Mm,
our like daily routine. And
yeah,
back then, I just remember having really sore muscles. But it was at some point where, you know, in the climbing world, doing gymnastic exercises was not really very
no,
common. So
no, no,
maybe
no.
you talk a little bit why did you do that already, you know, almost 15 years
Yeah,
ago?
no. Yeah, we studied this because we thought it makes sense to build the bigger muscle groups, to train the bigger muscle groups as well, not only the the forearm muscles, because everything works together, and you need a proper um, body to do all these hard moves, and that you get not injured. You need strong shoulders, and we always thought that that your shoulders were ah yeah, they can improve. That was our thought. So we said maybe a bit of ring training should be good for him, especially for you, and also for the other climbers as well. But yeah, and everything works together, and the muscle slings in your body have to be complete. Not only that one part of the sling is strong and the other part is weak. So it's like a muscle sling is like a muscle. We talk about chains, and the chain is always as strong as the weakest part of it. And when one part is not trained at proper, so you could be injured or it's not in a good balance. So we looked at that you train in a balanced way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And I mean, I really felt the benefits because when I was, I mean, 10 years ago, I was a really thin climber. I
yeah.
didn't have very many muscles. I could hold on for a long time with my
That's
fingers,
true.
but as soon as there was, you know, a sloper or a big move, I couldn't really do it at all.
No, yeah, that's
So
true.
I feel the ring training that really, really helped me, especially
Yeah,
the ring training and the gymnastic exercises we did back then.
yeah,
And I continued doing them over the last 10 years, that
yeah,
they really helped me to improve my climbing
yeah,
and to
yeah.
get my climbing to the next level
Mm.
and mostly
Yes,
to improve in my weaknesses because
yeah,
back then my weakness really was powerful moves.
yeah,
And I feel
absolutely.
like doing this training additionally to, you know, climbing powerful boulders and
Hmm.
routes
Yeah,
really helped me to
mm,
yeah, to work on my weaknesses.
yeah, yeah. You was a very static climber. That's because like all the skinny climbers are more static in the static way, and so when you gain muscles and you gain power, you felt more confident and you trust your body more, and so you try the bigger moves and you do also the dynamic stuff, which was impossible in the beginning.
Yeah.
No dynamic moves. It was yeah, it was a big uh,
It took a long time. It was a long process.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but I
yeah,
went pretty much from not doing any dynamic moves to really loving dynamic moves on
yeah,
overhanging stuff. So I
yeah,
think I worked on my
yeah,
weaknesses very
yeah,
well. And
especially on the 45.
yeah, love the 45-degree wall. guess it's definitely the best training wall for sure.
Dynamic moves
Dynamic moves.
with
Yeah, and then
pinchy crimps, flying
and then
feet.
I remember at some point in 2011, I think, Cafe Craft opened,
Hmm.
and we still trained together, although the kids group back then was almost not really a kids group anymore because I was
Mm.
18. Then at some point you stopped doing this kids group, as I remember, the Frank Nura kids group.
Yeah, yeah,
But we still continued training together.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. We stopped doing the training with the group because we also were more focused on on you, and it took a lot of energy and time, and for us it felt like to train with this group on Tuesday afternoon when it was crowded in the gym, like 200 other climbers, and then we have 10 or 12 uh, in our group, so it was impossible to do a proper training. It was we always stopped the training, or when it ends, we we felt like, phew, it was nice climbing, but it's not training. And we always, Patrick and me, we had the idea or another idea of training, like more specific and focused, and this was impossible in the gyms, and we had no chance. We were always a bit disappointed after the trainings because we said, okay, it was a nice climbing, but training is something different, and
Yeah,
it's impossible. And so we decided to stop this and focused on single persons, on yeah, personal training. Because everybody needs different exercises, and
yeah. And that was as
so
well the time when Patrick and you started doing more personal coachings. And
mhm,
at some point, I remember you were as well the coaches for the Adidas team, and there were
mhm.
lots of Adidas people coming to Coffee
Yeah,
Craft for coaching
yeah,
and for training.
yeah,
And at some point, you two made as well the exactly. You two founded the company Craft Factory, but you as
yeah,
well wrote this book, Gimme Craft, with
yeah,
lots of exercises for climbers.
yeah.
And that was pretty much, I think, because a lot of people needed and wanted exercises, and
Hmm.
they didn't want to have a very scientific book where you write down all
Yeah,
the science. They just wanted to
yeah.
see exercise they could do. Was that the reason for why you wrote the book?
Um, yeah, that was the reason. And we wrote the book, and the idea of the book was to make kind of a collection of exercises. Yeah. And then we published the book, and yeah, a lot of people bought the book, and then they say, yeah, but we need more information about the specific training, and why there is no plan how to train, like a individual training plan. And then we thought, okay, we this is something which is very individual, and then we say, okay, we offer like these personal trainings where people can come to us, because it's not possible to train people where you don't know nothing about. Yeah, they just call you and say, hey, come on, can you give me a plan for the next few months to train? You say, no, you you have to come to Coffee Craft. Yeah, then we make some testing with you, and we have this direct contact, and then we can see how we can go on. But yeah,
Yeah.
so it starts, and more people came to us from all over the world, and we started doing workshops all over the world, and we traveled a lot, and it was a nice time, and it's still okay. Now we are a bit. locked locked down. But I think, yeah, we will
And
go
yeah,
on
that
with
was
this. It makes sense, and people love it. And yeah,
yeah, because I remember your philosophy with Patrick and you was always you need to see the athlete to
mm,
give advice because you can't
yeah,
just give everybody the same plan. And that's why, I
no,
mean, especially as well with my training, I see over the last 10 years that we did together, we never
yeah,
just, did the same training. We always did very specific training for
yeah,
specific routes, for specific boulders. And
yeah,
depending on where we
absolutely,
were every year, we would as
yeah,
well do different training because
yeah,
you can't just always train the same and you can't let every person train the same because everybody
no,
has got different strengths and weaknesses. And
exactly, exactly.
I feel like you have
It,
seen a lot of like climbers in general that came to you
mm,
for coaching and a lot of professional
mm.
climbers. What would you say is the biggest weakness of a normal climber? What have you seen many, many times where you would say, oh, this is a weakness that a lot of climbers have?
I would say most of the climbers, they came to me, or they come to me. They say, "Oh, Dicki, I need more strength. I'm too weak. I'm too weak. I'm too weak." And I would say in, yeah, round about 80 or 85%, it's not true. It's not a strength. Yeah. Sometimes it's technique. Sometimes it's like a very, very yeah, there is a lack of flexibility, of mobility. Yeah, and they were, yeah, they building muscle groups, like which pull the shoulders down in like in front. Yeah, so they cannot move like the bigger move, where your shoulders go to the side and up and down. And this is, I think mobility is, yeah, this is very often
Yeah.
the point where people were very, or not very weak, but weaker than its strength, because it's very easy to, and climbers want to train their finger strength. Yeah, they have all these boards at home, and it's so easy to hang on there, and you feel it, and oh, I feel my body. And when you do something like yoga or some exercises for mobility, it feels a bit like, yeah, it's nice, but come on,
It's like when I say
come on. Yeah,
it's like when I say I'm going stretching on the campus board, for example.
exactly. Do some, yeah, I do just some exercises for mobility, and then I came up and I saw you on the campus board and say, Alex, okay, on the campus board, maybe it's not the right thing. Ah, just a bit.
Just a little bit, you know me.
Exactly.
And
It was always, but yeah, that's, it's for climbers. It's always hard to go away where you don't feel your forearms and
yes,
your shoulders, not tired after a training. Yeah,
yeah,
a good training, is always when you are tired like hell. Huh? You can feel nothing in your forearms, your
yeah,
fingers are numb, and
exactly.
that's a good training.
If
And that not doing something like,
exactly, we don't like that. If we
no,
can't
no,
walk
no.
out of the gym anymore, it was a good training. Like you need to be
Exactly.
completely destroyed, and then you
Mm-hmm.
do three more repetitions, and then you're completely
Uh,
dead, and you need rest to drive home.
yeah. Mm.
Exactly, and
I see you learned a lot in the last years, Alex. I'm very proud of you. Oh my God.
no, um, I would say I did learn quite a lot in the last, especially in the
Yeah.
last 5 years, maybe,
Uh-huh.
because even though you always said don't train every day on the 45-degree wall, when you are 19 and 20, I went every day and I trained, and
Exactly.
because it made me feel good, and of course. So at some point, maybe 4 years ago, I started getting finger injuries. Like I got some inflammations in those fingers, and I got a
Oh.
pulley rupture in this finger. And yeah, I mean that I would say that really changed my training a little bit.
Mm.
I definitely learned with every injury, and I did I did less. I tried to do less of the things I like, which is training on a 45-degree wall. I tried to be more smart about it. I
Hmm.
did learn a little bit, but I think there is probably still a long way to go.
Yeah, sure. But
But
you started this yoga exercises, and you do it like every, oh, stop. You you do it like everything you do it 100%. Yeah? It's like when I do yoga, I do yoga, and I think every second day now, or it depends on when there
yeah,
is time to run in the morning, or it's you always change a bit. One day running, one day
yeah.
yoga, or isn't
Yeah,
it?
we do as well. I think, yeah, we as well do a lot of different training, not only climbing. Yeah, yoga is a
Yeah,
big part of my training. I usually do
absolutely. Yeah,
yoga two mornings, and then on the third morning I'll go running
yeah,
for
uh,
just for recovery or
yeah,
for basic endurance.
yeah, yeah,
But I as well
and
feel like our relationship as like trainer and athlete over the last 5 years probably has changed quite a lot because it's
yeah,
not that, I'm like 27 now, and it's not that the last 3 years you were always with me at my
yeah,
trainings and telling me what to do,
yeah.
If you're like, if you
That's
have
true.
training with some 13-year-old, you train with them, you tell them,
Mm.
you climb this, you climb that.
Yeah, yeah,
But now I'm like, from when I was maybe 22 or 23, it
yeah.
was not the case anymore that Patrick or you came to my training to tell me what to
No,
do. So
no.
we like did our training very different.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
remember that we mostly just talked about like certain training cycles. So it was not that you told me, now on Monday you do this, on Tuesday you do this,
no.
on Wednesday you do this. It was more like that we talked about, okay, which project do I have? Is it a
Mm.
competition? Is it an outside route or an outside boulder?
Yeah,
And then we mostly talked about, okay, now we will train, this month we will focus more on power, or this
yeah,
month we will focus more on endurance.
yeah,
And yeah, I think the training changed a lot, right?
yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
yeah, absolutely. Because I think the direction is clear, and you know what to do when you go for let's say, for a boulder competition. Uh, um, it's obvious that you're not train rope climbing and climbing labs. Um, but it's more like we have the big overview. Uh, like, okay, this is the season, this is the next competition coming up, or we talk about pro the projects, and then it's like we try to turn the small screws. Like, okay, we can adjust a bit and here a bit, and then to optimize it. Yeah,
Yeah,
like we are talking a lot about, let's say, the things around climbing, yeah, which but always influences your climbing, and
yeah,
um, this is this is our way now to to be still, let's say, a good team, yeah, and it's still fun working together, and it's let's when we talked about the biography project, so we try, okay, how can we optimize it, and how can we um, yeah, figure out something which helps you more for to recover in
yeah,
between the tries and the days, and uh, yeah, I think it
yeah. And I remember as well that,
helpful.
yeah, you as well helped me, like, first of all, of course, with the training, but I as well knew what I have to do. I knew that, which training to do. So I feel like in the last 5 years or so, it became more and more that Patrick and you helped me with a lot of other stuff around climbing, like you already
Yeah,
said. So it was to figure out stuff with sponsors.
yeah,
It was to help me with interviews, to
mm,
just have my back when there was maybe too
yeah,
many interviews coming in. You took care of that.
yeah,
And it was just all the little things as well. For example, when I started competing again 2 or 3 years ago,
mm,
that I know that Patrick and you don't have like the biggest competition experience, but you still like went to the competitions, you learned, and you as well invited other people. You as well helped me always with communication with route setters, for example, to
Mm,
arrange new boulders. You helped
mm,
with getting new people into our team that can help us specifically with one thing.
yeah,
And I think that was always very helpful, what at least what I thought, because yeah, I mean sometimes when you have to take care of everything as an athlete, you just don't have the time. So having
yeah,
you and Patrick was just really nice in order to, manage
mm,
everything that just, is
mm,
there on like in terms of work apart from only the climbing.
yeah,
And that was very important.
mm, yeah. Yeah, it's our philosophy was always like it, it's good when you do what you can, and when you're not the best in route setting, yeah, talk to someone who's good in route setting or in other things, yeah. So we always try to, yeah, like you said, we yeah we talk to other people and say, hey, can you help us? Because that's not our business. And yeah, at the end, I would say, yeah, it worked out and it's still working. And yeah, let's see what the future brings. So I
Exactly.
think there are a lot of projects in many different ways. And yeah, I'm keen and psyched to go on and see what's next. We know what's next, but yeah.
We always still are looking for what's next. And a lot of people always ask me, now you have such good coaches. How can I find coaches like you have? How can I find my Patrick and Dicki, for example?
Hmm,
And it's always hard for me to answer because I feel like what we have as a team is very, very special because we
hmm,
built up, our relationship over the past 15 years.
yeah, yeah,
And I feel like a lot of people are in need of coaches and people that
hmm,
they can trust.
hmm,
But I would say almost we have more of a friendship relationship than actually a coaching relationship. It's not only about coaching, it's about
no,
trusting, each other, about being able to talk about,
yeah,
everything, not about
yeah,
just climbing.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, it's hard to find coaches like that, I would say.
yeah,
So, I
hmm,
mean, if people want coaches like that, I think it just takes time to find the right person and, spend time together and build this relationship as a coach and athlete.
yeah.
But I don't think you can just, within, 1 month find a coach and then,
Well, maybe in some cases, okay, yeah, it works, but it's yeah, it's not easy, and I think this is a special thing. Yeah, this is nothing which what you can plan. Yeah, like
yeah,
okay, now we start here, and in 10 years we are there. So it grows. Yeah, and yeah, growing needs time, and
yeah,
I think this is something which is very important. And it's yeah, time is something. Yeah, what I'm missing in when I see in climbers' eyes.
yeah,
Sometimes they thought, "Ah, I need it fast, I need it now," and I say, "Hey, slow, slow. Can you make me strong as Megos?" I said, "No, sorry, no way." It's 'cause, uh, yeah, and they everything is fast. These days are everything is running that fast, and so nobody, yeah, has this time to say, okay, we always try uh, to hold you a bit back, yeah,
yeah,
like not that we try to push you into the next level. Like when
yeah,
you started with 8A, and we don't say, okay, now go for 8B, 8C, 9A, blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
Say, okay, slowly, slowly. Yeah. So, because we had no rush, it's like, okay, let's see, this is our idea. And yeah, but now everything, I think, yeah, it's too fast, too fast, and
yeah. I
nothing
feel
that
like
yeah,
when with my progress in climbing, everything always happened very slow almost, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't climb, for example, 9A when I was 13, like other people
Mm.
did, you know. I mean, I remember my first 8A when I was 13.
Yeah,
And then I went super quickly from 8A to 8C, I think
yeah,
within 2 years.
yeah,
But I always did my first 8A, first 8B, first 8C, always second or third try,
yeah,
like really quickly.
yeah,
And then I as well did my first 9A third try, but then between my first and my second 9A, there was more than 1 year that
yeah.
passed
Hmm.
until I climbed my second 9A.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was as well always yours and Patrick's philosophy that,
Hmm.
you know, the athlete shouldn't always try to run for the hardest thing and the hardest project. It's always
Mm.
good to build a certain base.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I feel that helped me a lot in my climbing as well. I
Mm.
mean, it had some negative effects maybe now in the future that I didn't know exactly what projecting is until recently. But
Ah.
but I feel
Okay.
like I can learn this now, but it
Yeah.
gave me this as a kid, it just gave me the opportunity to climb a lot of different routes,
Yeah.
a lot of routes in one grade before I move on to the next
Hmm.
grade. And that
Yeah.
just enabled me to climb a lot.
Yeah.
And therefore I just had this experience on a lot of different rock,
Mm.
on a lot of different routes, and that helped me
Yeah.
quite a lot to progress.
Yeah. And to yeah, to keep motivation high was also one thing I remember, um, that you were a bit yeah, tired of yeah, single pitch climbing, and then we say, okay, open your eyes to different directions, go to yeah, try some multi pitch, try some other stuff, and then you yeah, you climbed in this multi pitch in Switzerland with Roger Shirley,
Hmm.
and you you tried some yeah, something different, and you were not only focused on this yeah, single pitch routes,
Yeah, and
and then you
I think
came
that
back,
really helped me.
and then you came back, and yeah, you could start again, and motivation was back.
Yeah,
But this is like when you are on a yeah, it's kind on a plateau. Yeah, when you climb on a plateau, sometimes you can do what you want. It didn't goes on. It didn't work out. So you feel you feel bad. And in this moments, in these cases, sometimes it's good to do something different. Yeah, maybe stop this routine. Yeah,
yeah,
because when you're always you try and you try and you didn't succeed. So it's better to do something different.
yeah,
Sometimes stop for a while with climbing, go skating or
yeah,
whatever, but and then come back, and then it's yeah, it it's not bad to stop for a few weeks, a year with climbing. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like
But
okay, it's good for your body, it's good for your mind, it's yeah, it's good for everything. So then you come back and you can go on. And when you stop for 3 weeks, yeah, let's say 3 weeks, it's hard. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, 2 days, what weeks. Yeah,
overnight,
but
overnight.
for I will say normally, yeah, you come back and it's yeah, it doesn't take that long, and you are stronger than before. And
Yeah,
you remember this. You have this experience, yeah, but it's still hard to believe in this.
yes. And
But
I remember as
you
well, people
know,
always ask, was there a time where I was not motivated for climbing or for training, and how did I get out of this?
hmm.
What did you say? Did I ever have that time?
Yeah, you
I
have,
would say so, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I remember
you were
some years
tired.
ago
You were
that I was not psyched with, not motivated for climbing. And
no, I hear you.
now you here again. Good. Yeah,
Yeah,
there
you
was
can.
definitely a time where I was not motivated for climbing. I
Yeah,
remember we were just sitting in the car and I was talking. I was just telling you that I was not psyched at all and I was really scared because I was
hmm.
afraid that I will not be psyched for climbing again. And I remember you suggesting back then that I should just take my time, don't focus on climbing, just do something else. If I want to go climbing, good, then I can go. But if I don't want to, then I don't have to. I can as well only even go to the gym to meet people, to talk, to socialize.
Yeah.
And I feel that really helped me a lot.
Yeah. But you have to learn. You have to learn this, and especially for as a professional climber. Professional climbers are always like they have to do something, and they have to give the sponsors and the crowd some big numbers and climb hard all the time. And this is it's not possible. It's sometimes you need to do something different. And I think motivation is a very, very important thing. And when it's gone, you have to see how you can come back with it, and
that's true. I as well wanted to give the people that are watching the chance to ask some questions. I think we have like 10 to 15 minutes left maximum.
Yeah.
And you can ask some questions if you want to. I think there is down in right, there is a question mark button. It's that, that question mark that is down there, and you can write questions in there, and then we will be able to see them. So there are a few questions.
You see them or we see them?
One question is for you, Dicki, maybe. Would you recommend a trainer? Would you recommend a trainer for an ambitious hobby climber?
A trainer for ambitious hobby climber? I think it makes sense to try something with a trainer and see how it fits together. It's for an ambitious hobby climber.
How ambitious is always the question, huh?
That's where I'm struggling a bit with. It's an ambitious hobby climber. Yeah, I would say it's always good to have some advice, and always good you have some extra eyes watching you, and give you some feedback. And maybe not all the time. You don't need all the time a trainer, not 3 times a week, but let's say every 2 weeks or something like that, or 1 time per month.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that.
Yeah.
There's another question over here. Best nutrition hack for the crack or send day? Well, I think the best nutrition, as we always know, is carrots. I mean, can't be any other way. I think you should all know it by now. But if you haven't heard about it yet, carrots for power. That'll for sure give you the power. Let's see.
Nutrition hack for the crack.
There was at some point there was some question, somebody asking if they can book you for a coaching or a training, Dicki.
Yeah.
Is it possible at the moment?
At the moment, we can do no coachings because Cafe Craft is also locked down. But we are looking forward that we can start again. Maybe March, we will see. But you can book coachings. Yeah, we have these coaches at craftfactory.de, and there you can contact us, and then we can organize some coachings. Yeah, for sure.
There's another question now here coming up. Climb more quantity or climb harder grades?
Both.
Always the highest quantity of hard grades.
Exactly.
No, I as well feel that both is important for me, especially when I was younger. It was very important to climb a lot of routes, a lot of different routes and different styles on as well, different rock in different areas. but as well, it was sometimes important to, maybe find a project and try this. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think both processes can be important
yeah,
to develop in climbing.
exactly. Because it makes no sense only to climb quantity wise, like I'm not going higher with grades. I climb first I climb 500 7Bs, and then I start, maybe I try with a 7C. Sometimes people are afraid to to do the next steps. Yeah, they are on one level and they feel good, and it's like yeah, in the comfort zone. When you're in your comfort zone, you feel good. Yeah, but when
Yeah,
you step out of the comfort zone, you try harder grades. Yeah, sometimes you lose. Yeah, or you feel like you lose because you cannot climb the route really fast. You have to work on it or on the grade, and so it's good to be to starting to be female with this way of climbing. Try something hard, okay, say maybe I should go a step back, or I try. You will feel if it's possible or not, and if you should try this route for a
yeah,
longer time, or you stop and go back because it makes no sense when you feel okay, there are some moves it's impossible to do them, so
yeah.
maybe it makes sense to
And I
yeah.
feel sometimes, yeah, just, going back to a project after 1 year, maybe after you've stopped trying it,
Hmm.
can be
Yeah,
really good because in this year you might have learned, different, like you've gained experience, you might have learned different techniques, and then you
yeah,
can, yeah, it's sometimes always good to take breaks from projects and then come back if you feel like you got stuck somewhere. Yeah.
yeah,
There's another question here: how not to give up in front of the fear of falling, of being hurt. So when people have fear of like falling or getting hurt
yeah.
while climbing, and I don't have very much fear when I'm falling because
Mm-hmm.
I feel that climbing is a very, very safe sport. But there is definitely this fear in falling for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my recommendation always is to get used to it, slowly. So if you're afraid of taking a fall on a lead route, climb to maybe a point where you don't feel super comfortable and then take a little bit of a fall. And then you can always build this up.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely agree.
yeah, I wouldn't climb
That's
anything that's
that's the
super
way.
dangerous.
And when you climb with fear, it's not possible to climb 100%. You cannot focus 100% on the climbing. You always have this fear which holds you back, and it's like yeah, but it's there. On the other hand, fear is keeping us alive, so it's in some cases it's okay.
Yeah, I think we'll throw in a funny question: how many carrots per day? The
Whew.
question, like the answer is all the carrots per day,
Like Chuck Norris, all of
like
them.
Chuck Norris. We eat all the carrots and we do all the pull-ups.
Oh.
No, I think it's, 3 a day keeps the doctor away. Let's go with number three. Three is always good. Another one here. What do you think about remote training instead of live training, which is not possible right now? I guess what he means is now that a lot of people are not able to train in gyms, they have to remotely train at home. And what do we think about that? That's how I interpret the question. And I know you have a cable machine in the basement.
I trained hard the last time. Yeah, it's very easy when you have a cable pull machine in the basement and some weights, and but you can do a lot of body weight exercise, which you can find in our book, Gimme Craft. You have a lot of exercises, or you can build something with some rings or some parallettes, or just need a floor and try to build, to train your bigger muscle groups, and yeah, it's in the past we also had no gyms, and we trained on some small wooden crims which we screwed on a small board, put it over the door, and then we hang on them all the time. Eh,
I mean, I feel like you definitely have to get creative if you haven't got training
yeah,
facilities, but I think there's a lot of things you can do. It might be yoga or handstands, it might be training on your door frame, and I
yeah.
think people have to get creative, and I think they are doing that as well. Here's another question. What's the best temperature condition for sending the hardest cruxes?
For me, it's 25-degree up. And for you, like you can see on the on the picture you sent it today, where you were just in shorts and I was in a down jacket. So it's very
So
individual.
the higher the age, the higher the temperature. It goes like
Exactly.
no, I think everybody probably has a different temperature of yeah where he climbs maybe his best. It depends on what type of skin you have. It
Mm,
depends on if you just prefer the cold or rather the warm. And I think there is no perfect temperature for everybody. But
mm.
I think for the tan, at least 25 degrees and sunny is for sure good.
Absolutely. Best.
Okay, well, I think, yeah, I've just had a look at the time. We are pretty much ready. I think we can do one more question.
Okay.
That let's see what's the next project. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one that we can end the live stream with. Is this recorded? Can we watch it later?
Yes.
Because obviously our talking was not for nothing. After this live stream, if I don't mess it up, I will save this to the Tenaya website, to the Instagram page.
Mm.
So whenever you guys want to rewatch it and learn more about training, and if you've maybe missed the beginning and you want to rewatch the beginning,
Yeah.
if you just like watching comedy, then you can play it again. And yes, but it will be saved. And I wanted to thank you, Dicki, for taking this time here.
Welcome.
I wanted to thank Tanaya as well for enabling this live stream. Oh, quick question. There was one question coming up. What was my favorite shoe? I have a very flat foot, so for me, my favorite shoe is the Iati, the red one, for now. But I think I have to give the Mastia another try, which I will do. People have convinced me that I should give that one another try. But thank you, all of you, for watching. It was
Yeah.
a pleasure.
Thank you
And
too.
and happy holidays, I guess. Huh? I think there's like this Christmas thing around the corner coming soon now.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, 3 days.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you haven't got any presents, then you're probably anyway too late.
No,
But
and you don't need them this time. It's good.
exactly.
Yeah, give your friends some time and spend time with your family. Stay healthy and don't waste your money with things nobody needed.
That's a very good final last words from Dicki. Yeah, listen to him. He's wise.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Hey,
Thanks so much.
see
I'll
you.
say bye and happy holidays. Talk to you soon.
Alex, see you in a
See
bit.
you. Bye.
Bye bye.